Hi guys, welcome to my third video. I wanted to start this one with an apology. So it's kind of dark, which I'm aware of in the picture, but I am not a video expert, so sorry about that, and we're just going to have to work with it, I think. This is going to be a really quick one because I am dashing out. I'm already late, so I just wanted to do some myth busting. I promised that I would do some myth busting in one of the earlier videos, and I just wanted to share kind of 3 things with you which might be helpful if you are interested in the UN or CSW or the global political architecture, because I was a politics student myself, my undergrad and my postgrad, and I still find it quite difficult sometimes to kind of consolidate everything and get it clear in my mind, and also kind of work out all these different processes. So I've got 3 myths here, and I'm going to kind of crack them with you now. So the first one, and this is one I think my favourite one, is that the United Nations system is kind of a completely unnavigable web of organisations, and it's just all, you know, kind of this blob, and all of these different institutions like UNAs and UNICEF and UNDP and all these acronyms that you hear just are kind of spread. But I was doing some research a while ago, and I actually found this document, which I'm not sure you'll be able to see, but it will be linked below, and it's called United Nations System, funnily enough. And you probably can't see, but it kind of breaks down the UN principal organisations. So it's the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the Secretariat, the International Court of Justice, and the Trusteeship Council. So these are kind of like the main bodies. And then it's got these brilliant arrows, and it shows you where in these principal bodies sits all the different bits and pieces of the United Nations. So you might have picked up before I said that Progressio had submitted a statement to ECOSOC, and that's because, as you can see in the diagram, it is highlighted but you probably can't see, Commission on Status of Women comes down under ECOSOC, and other functional commissions that come down, just dropping my phone, that come down under ECOSOC are Population and Development, Social Development, Statistics, and then you've also got the specialised agencies, which you probably have heard of, like the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organisation, the ILO, the International Labour Organisation, UNESCO. I'm sure you've heard of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites all around the world. So there's really a lot, actually. It's like there is. I'm not saying that there aren't loads of agencies, because there are, but if you want to get your head around how they all fit together, I found this to be a really, really useful tool, and you can print it out on one A4 document and put it up next to your desk if you want to be a politics geek like me. And then the second myth, I don't have any props for, sadly, is that the CSW is hosted in the United States because the United States is the most gender-forward country in the world. Hate to say it, but sadly this is not the case. Actually, according to the Global Gender Gap Report, which is, again, we'll link in this video, Iceland, Finland and Norway are actually at the top of their rankings, and obviously they, you know, lots of different data is used, but United States comes in at the 20th, and the UK comes in at 26th. So you can see that even kind of in the developed world, we guys have got a long way to go in kind of the journey of gender equality and creating gender equality. So it's not held here because it's the most gender forward country in the world. It's held here because of the United Nations. And I just think that's interesting, just to remind ourselves about the balances of global power and who's doing it well and who can do it better. And we can all do it better, I think. And finally, I've mentioned a bit over the videos the agreed conclusions document, which is the outcome document of this conference, which is actually going to be worked on properly. Kind of starts working on Friday for that, and I just kind of wanted to share with you a myth that it's just governments that are kind of sitting in a closed room with no windows, and they're in there for days, and they're all debating about this text. And actually, that part of that does happen. That's definitely a process that does go on. But actually, we're really grateful in the UK that we get a really good relationship with the UK government and the UK negotiators. So civil society in different countries will influence directly if they've got that good relationship, or of course indirectly. So many women's rights organisations all around the world will have been petitioning and lobbying and contacting their representatives in the run-up to this conference. So we shouldn't really think that these documents are government-owned. They're not. They belong to us as well, and it's really important that we have our views expressed in them, and that's why we kind of really work hard to do that kind of relationship building. So again, I will link the most recent agreed conclusions document with you, so you can see what they look like. It's about 40 pages long, but if you're interested, I think it's worth a read actually, because it's kind of, like I was saying, it's kind of progress where we're at to progress where we need to go next, so it's really interesting. So hopefully that's been interesting for you and you've learned something, and I will be back tomorrow with my penultimate video. It's already Wednesday, which is crazy. The week is going really, really quickly, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to run off to my next meeting. Thanks!